This is my new favorite YouTube channel. This chick, her name's Karen, and it's called, let me see if I can get a bigger picture of it. I don't know. Yeah, the Happy Wife School. All right. Karen whips it. She, um, basically, I consider her like the secular Rush Limbaugh of what's wrong with marriage these days. And she keeps explaining how people are looking for fulfillment or whatever and just bailing when it's not their deal. And mostly she gives the ladies a hard time because they're typically the desperate housewives or whatever looking for emotional fulfillment and then jumping ship when it doesn't happen. So she talks a little about this fact in the video, and I'm going to explain why I think the Spirit of Vatican II is at the heart of why everybody feels this way. So let's push play, and it's just short, and then we'll talk a little about it.
Alive the fantasy that romantic love does exist. And we want to keep alive the fantasy and illusion that our husbands are supposed to provide and maintain those feelings of romantic love. And we live in this fantasy that that's what it's supposed to be.
That fantasy comes from the definition of marriage at Vatican II, which I'll get to. By the way, this applies to men also. Some guys just bail for whatever reason, also, and it's because they don't understand or they have not been told they don't know what the contract says because it's buried in Vatican II. Hang on.
Which then that's where we become victims in our marriage. And I'm talking about victim mentality. We become victims in our marriage and blame our husbands that they're not providing those feelings of romantic love. And then that's where we get bored, we feel disappointed, we are let down, and we are unhappy. And we believe that our husband is the source of feeling let down, of being unhappy, of being disappointed, of being bored. And then we feel entitled and justified to leave the marriage, to go outside of the marriage, to look for some other relationship, some other man that we think will make us feel the energy of new love and romantic love, of the passion and the excitement and the bliss and the butterflies.
Right. So people want all this stuff. And where did this come from? Where did they think that marriage is supposed to supply this or has to supply this? And I've got the answer. We're going to click on this, show this tab instead. All right. So here we go. This, again, this whole notion of stay home, be barefoot, and have babies. That's basically the definition of marriage from a legal perspective. Okay. That doesn't mean that's all marriages, but that's what it is legally. So that's what, okay. And through the 20th century, there was a lot of pressure from Margaret Sanger and um, all the people like Dietrich von Hildebrand saying we need to have more love in the room and all this kind of stuff. So then it came to the surface at Vatican II, and they brought it into the new code of canon law through Gaudium et Spes. And here's what it says: Canon 1055. The matrimonial, so marriage, okay, um, where they establish a partnership. They Marriage is not an establishment of a partnership; it is a exchange of bodily rights. Okay, so here's the key phrase right here, which is so marriage is ordered by nature to the good of the spouses. Now, that's a real tricky phrase. It's not ordered by nature to the good of the spouses essentially, and that's the word they don't put in there, or primarily, okay? So it's secondarily ordered to the good of the spouses. Therefore, it's not natural to marriage, meaning the good of the spouses is not essential. So when you say this and everyone starts talking, Kimberly and Scott Hahn and the whole bit and Christopher West, we have to have good of the spouses. Then everyone's trying to get this vibe this chick is talking about, the cover of a romance novel. And when you don't have that, then they become desperate housewives. Typically, it's the women, 90%, 80% of the time. And this right here is the source of it. We have to kill this incorrect definition operating of marriage, that marriage requires unity, as Tim Gordon would say, and Father Ripperger for that matter. And so the good of the spouses is not the natural essence of marriage. And that's what everyone is operating on. Let's go back and finish what she says here. Hang on a minute. Okay, let me get it going.
And that's where we will leave our marriages and leave our husbands. And oftentimes we have met someone else. And whether we're having a full on affair or having an emotional affair, we've met someone else that has stirred all those false feelings of love up again. And we believe that it's real. And we will divorce and we will leave thinking we finally found it. And then we're disillusioned again because as soon as those feelings fade away, we're right back where we started, feeling that emptiness in us, feeling that void.
She's right, because that's not what marriage is. It's kind of like if you think nature never mind. Anyway, this girl is good. She's got a ton of great videos. She's not pure as the wind driven snow or anything like that, but she's she's definitely saying some things that a lot of people know because it's nature. I don't even know if she stumbled upon that yet. Um, I guess that's a wrap for now. Anyway, you can, like I always say, the difference between me and everybody else on YouTube is I always answer all the questions, and I don't. I make sure I respond to everything, and as many times, as many questions as you have, I will respond. Love you.